Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Connect the Dots, which I do every Thursday at 2 p.m. Just some advice on marketing, so online marketing. Hopefully you enjoyed it last week. If you're just catching up on the replay today, welcome. If you're going to jump on live, even better. But yeah, I appreciate not everyone can watch it at 2 o'clock on a Thursday, so hopefully you can catch the replay. Hopefully you watched last week's session, which was around trying to get inside your customer's head and thinking about some content that you can create for social media, for blog posts, for emails, by just doing some keyword research. And what I wanted to just give you today was just a really simple way which you can create that content for your social media, for your website, just wherever you're online, in a really simple, easy way. But it does involve setting aside a bit of time, but it's totally worth it, I promise. So don't try and do this bit by bit. You should, put aside half a day, maybe, just with pen and paper. I've got sticky Post-it notes and a whiteboard and pen and paper, and plan it all out. It'll feel a bit tricky to start with, but you'll get into the flow, and all of a sudden you'll have a year's worth of content. So what I always start with is like a wide view. So looking at annually what's happening in your business. Now, what I will do is just share my screen, and I can talk you through the templates that I've got, and I will give you a link on how to get those templates yourself that you can use. Okay, so we'll start with the annual overview. So what you need to do is sit down, and for each quarter, so with 3 months in each quarter, just write 3 key things. So basically one for each month under the business section. What are the key things that are happening in your business that month? And do that over the 4 quarters. And there was I think it was Janet Murray shared a quote where it says, if you don't know what's happening for the rest of the year in your business, you've got a business problem, not a content problem. So have a think about how your whole year looks, and just do one thing for each month. And also put in some key dates as well. So what this means, it could be key dates that are industry specific to you. It could be key dates like Mother's Day. It could be like today I posted, it was National Hug Your Cat Day, and I'm going to share a link with you on where you can get all your national days. So when you're planning it out, you can go onto that calendar and go, right, what's happening in June? And just have a look at some key dates in there. So I think tomorrow might be, it's National Cheese Day or something like that. So just have a think about ways that you can creatively, put that into your content as well, so it relates to your business. So that's it for the annual view. So you should have 3 things in the business column, and then a few dates on the right-hand side under key dates. Then we want to break it down quarterly, and here's where the work that you would have done last week when researching what kind of questions people are asking is creating one core piece of content each week for each month in the quarter. So if you've written down all the specific, more generic questions that people ask about your product or service, so using Quora and Google autocomplete and Facebook groups, all the things I mentioned last week, and then write those down. And they could also be specific questions like how do I buy this, or where are you, or it could be very specific questions around your product or service. So then you want to put those 12 pieces in, and I'd recommend having one core piece of content each week. So that might seem a bit overwhelming, but for example, my core piece of content is now this Facebook Live, and I will create other content in and around it. I can use rev.com to transcribe it and turn it into a blog post. I can edit it with just little mini cutouts. I can share content and giveaways within it. I can do little quotes that I might make through that I can share on social media. So you actually find lots of extra bits of content from your one core piece of content. So it's just about repurposing it. Now, if it's one piece of content a week seems too overwhelming for you, then you could look at it. I met with a client today who's looking at it monthly. So each month they're going to send out a newsletter which features their blog and also highlights, spotlights a product and also highlights what's new. And so they're going to create that at the beginning of each month, and then each week there are going to be, break it down into 3 or 4 social media posts that relate to those 3 topics. And I'll do that in another training where you can come up with lots of creative ways to share a particular topic, okay? And so that's where you would do it quarterly. So use all the questions that you discovered from the training last week, pop them in here, and I would recommend only doing a quarter at a time. Like, don't plan it out for 12 months, just focus on a quarter at a time and 12 pieces of core content, which you then can repurpose or create smaller pieces of daily content each week. And in the, so go through all the quarters, and in the weekly content template, this is where you can start putting in stuff that you're going to say, maybe a Facebook Live, a blog post, what post you're going to put on Facebook or Instagram if that's what you're using. If you're not using Instagram and you're using LinkedIn like I do, then you can just write LinkedIn there instead. And so all of a sudden you've got a really full 12 weeks of content, and it's only taken you half a day just using the tools that I recommended last week. Okay, back in the room. So yeah, hopefully that was helpful. That was a very fast and furious way to explain how I do content planning. So go wide. Use those questions that we researched last week to determine what your content will be, and then see how you can repurpose it. So if it's going to be a video that you can share on YouTube and that's going to be your core piece of content, can you then repurpose that into a blog? Can you create social media posts out of it? Can you create polls out of it? You know, I will do some more training on different types of content that you can repurpose. But yeah, hopefully you found that interesting. So just that reminder of the website that I use, which is nationaltoday.com, and that's how I find what's coming up. You don't have to do, I'd recommend maybe one a week. It's just a fun way to add a bit of content into your weekly social media planning. And then if you wanted to have a copy of that template, then just go ahead in the comments and type template, and my bot will deliver you a link to my website, which will give you the templates in a PDF. So then you can print them out and use it for yourself. So yeah, set aside half a day in the next few weeks and just start planning it out, because I promise you, once you have it planned out using this strategy, it's such a relief. You just know what you're posting, and it will just free up so much headspace for you around your marketing. So thanks again for watching, and I will see you next week, where we will talk about certain call to action words that you can use in your posts that are for different sort of parts of the buyer's journey. So I'll explain that all next week. Thanks for listening. Bye.